Okay, so the other day I was out at the store, and interestingly enough, they already have Easter stuff out. And I made some interesting observations. There's three kinds of Easter baskets out at this particular store. The traditional Easter basket style basket, a second type of basket which is the heads of famous cartoon characters that can be stuffed with things, and the Easter basket that can be reused as a bucket for going to the beach or something of that nature. I had a few thoughts on this. One, the basket is the traditional Easter thing that people use. So using that would be, of course, traditional. But it doesn't have many uses outside of celebrating Easter. People don't really use baskets for things much anymore. Then you have the cartoon character head basket. And this basket is a nice one that you can reuse for, say, Halloween or something of that nature, which is around about the time of year when I last saw them being sold. And then you have what's probably the most practical one, and that's the Easter bucket, because these buckets can be taken to the beach and used to collect seashells and build sandcastles and so forth. Or it can be used for whatever other reasons people use buckets for. And they have a nice little artwork on them. They seem pretty sturdy and reusable. The other thing I saw about Easter baskets is when you're choosing your Easter basket, you want to consider not only the character on the front of the basket, but also the volume of your basket. There's so many different shapes and sizes of baskets and buckets and so forth. You want to think of how many Easter eggs and eggs of what size will each of these baskets hold. Some baskets that they sell at the store were only big enough for one egg, while others would hold maybe 5, and others look like they might hold a couple dozen. You gotta consider the size of your Easter egg hunt while you're selecting which type of device you want to hold your eggs in. Then there is the next observation is the eggs themselves. There's lots of different sizes and colors, but now also different shapes, as they have a lot of eggs that are sold in the form of cartoon characters. And most surprisingly to me is the R2-D2 egg, which just sort of amuses me, the idea that people be hiding R2-D2s for Easter. Then there's the question of what to put in the egg. Of course, money is always a safe bet, but then there's also the popular stuff like using candy, which is a good idea as long as the conditions of the egg hunt aren't too hot and you don't have to worry about the candy melting. Then of course there's the tradition of, there's also the little Easter things that the stores make only to sell at Easter time. A bunch of rabbit themed and chicken themed little toys and so forth that kids really won't care about. They'll get a few minutes of fun out of these toys, and then they'll be done with them and they won't play with them after a couple of days, and then they'll probably break and get tossed out. Not very practical. Then you have the other tradition of having real eggs, which can be good if the people in your family actually eat eggs, and if you can find all the eggs before they start going rotten and smelling up the whole area. Then you have, if you think outside of the box just a little bit, there's other things you can put inside eggs. And this is where Easter eggs can be a lot like stuffing Christmas stockings or trick-or-treating, because all those small little things can also fit inside the eggs. Small toys can be found for both boys and girls. And you also have the option of watches, costume jewelry, cards, and other small portable games, art supplies, craft materials, various fad items, anything that looks like it's small and can be stuffed inside of these eggs of various sizes can be a help. My grandparents' favorite use for the Easter egg was always to stuff it with money, which is probably the safest gift you can give outside of food. But then there's also my mom's favorite Easter gift, and that's to give something that can be used outside, either an item to explore nature with, or something that can be played with outdoors, like a thing of bubbles or some kind of sports equipment or beach going material. After all, it was spring, and that's a time of year to get out of the house and play. And then, of course, there's also the possibility of getting that one or two special items that are too big for the eggs and can go inside the basket itself, like your stuffed animals, your DVDs, so on and so forth. And you can always try unboxing the toys so that they're smaller and fit in the eggs easier. Anyhow, whatever you do with your Easter, I hope some of this rambling helped you think about it. Let me know in the comments section below what your Easter setup is, or what it used to be if you've outgrown it. Thank you for watching, and good night.